loves, and welcome to the Civil and Quality Lifestyle. Today, I want us to talk about money. After all, we are a lifestyle channel, so there is nothing more important to lifestyle than money. So the topic for today is how to become financially independent. The first thing that I'm gonna do is to try and explain what it means to be financially independent. So, according to my understanding, I'm not an expert or anything like that, but being financially independent has to do with not depending on your salary, for financial stability. Yeah, so it's not depending on payday. And I know that a lot of people, especially in the black community, I would say the young black community, there's something that needs money, or maybe your kids need money, or something somewhere somehow needs money. We always say, I will do it on payday. So being financially independent means that you do not depend on payday. You do not wait for payday. Imagine a day where you don't even know when is your payday, because you always have money on your account. You are always financially sorted. You are always ready for any emergencies or anything like that. So that's what it means according to my understanding, and some other experts that I have consulted here and there, according to them. So that's how I understand what it means to be financially independent. So now I want us to discuss how we can get to that point as young black Africans, as people who have not been exposed to such information. A lot of us have just recently come to this realization that there's even such a thing as financial independence. A lot of us only knew about going to school, getting a job, getting into debt, and then that's that. So there's this whole new concept of being financially independent, where you have assets that make you money while you're just chilling at home or while you're busy with other things. So yeah, that's what we are going to discuss. So I have a list of 5 things that you can do to get yourself on your way to being financially independent. And this is not the only things. Okay, these are not the only things that you should do or you can do, but it's just something that I've extracted. It's something that I've just extracted from what I have learned up to so far, and there's still a lot to learn. This is going to be a long road. Let me just warn you, it's going to be a long journey, but it is worth it at the end. So the first thing on the list is to have a very strong reason. Have a reason that will be strong enough to push you in the direction of your goals. Obviously, if you want to be financially independent, you are going to have a goal. Maybe to say, let's say you want to be a millionaire. That's a good start for a lot of people. Or maybe you want to have 100,000 in your account. So depending on what you want, different strokes for different folks. So if you want to be a millionaire, that's your goal, you will need something to push you towards that goal. So you need to have a strong reason. And one of the things that I have read in some of the books that I've been reading, and some of the audio presentations that I've listened to, they always say have reasons that involve other people, or they involve a charitable thing that you can do, or they involve a service that you can do to someone else besides yourself. That is the greatest motivation, because if it's just you that you are doing this thing for, it's always easy to be lenient with yourself. So let's take, maybe your goal was to buy a car, and then you have to do something, and then that thing turns out to be hard, or it's just too much. It's easier for you to say, it's fine, I can get the car next year. But if it's something that you wanted to do maybe for your child, or it's something you wanted to do for your parents, then that becomes a big enough reason. So have reasons that are strong and have reasons that don't just involve you, but they involve doing something for other people. So example involve maybe if you want to, you know, help out at home, help your family, you know, with finances. Maybe you are the breadwinner. There's this thing of black tax, what guys, don't let anyone fool you. You know your family, you know the kind of family that you come from, you know what they need. You grew up there, your parents raised you, or whoever raised you. You are the one who knows the kind of family that you have and the kind of needs that they have. Don't let anyone tell you that, oh, black tax this, black tax that. We don't come from the same backgrounds. We come from different backgrounds. Some people, you know, the main reason that you're doing what you're doing is because of your family. So that is a strong enough reason to push you to do a little bit more, to work extra hard. So it might be for family, for your children. Maybe you want your kids to have a better education than you had. That's another motivation. Whatever your reason is, just make sure first thing you have a reason. Why do you want to do this? Don't just wake up and say, I want to do this, and you don't have a reason why, because most of the time that does not go anywhere, or it does not end well. The second thing that you can do in order to be to start your journey, or to be on your journey to become financially independent, is getting yourself financially educated. And by financially educated, I am not talking about getting a degree or a diploma or any qualification in finance. I am not talking about, you know, any formal kind of education, but I'm talking about, you know, any kind of informal education, including reading books, watching tutorials, or you can even do an online course, a short course. And if you want to go the route of getting a formal education, it is not a bad thing. That's also a very wise thing to do. It's also a good place to start. But I'm just saying that if maybe you do not have the time, you do not have the money, or you do not have the understanding for such, you know, route, you can do, you know, you can start small, maybe by reading a book, or getting tutorial, or doing an online course, or even reading a blog. So I have a few suggestions of the books that you can read, you know, to get yourself started on this journey. And the first book that I recommend, and this is one of the first books that I read when it comes to finance, it's called The Richest Man in Babylon. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll put it also in my description. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. This book is, you know, as you can see, it's very tiny, which means it's easy to read. But believe you me, it is very informative. It will change your life. It changed my life, and a lot of people that I listen to, you know, for example, Jim Rohn is one of the people that I started listening to. Is one of the people that I have learned from, you know, a thing or two about financial education. He recommends this book also very much. In fact, that's where I heard about the book, and then I went and got it, and it changed my life. It has some principles that you can follow to get yourself started. It doesn't matter where you work, it doesn't matter how much you earn, it doesn't matter where you are. We all have to start somewhere, and this is a great tool for you to get started. The second book is called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. There it is, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This book, it mostly talks about investments, and it talks about their lifestyle, the mentality, you know, of rich people versus poor people. And it's a very great book also for you to get a bit of education when it comes to finances, and, you know, where to go or how to go about getting yourself financially educated. Another thing besides reading books or listening to any presentations or audio presentation or audio books is to, you know, watch tutorials, YouTube tutorials on financial education. So this, I have also suggestions, based on that. I have two people that come to mind whenever I talk about finance, and especially when it comes to YouTube. The first person is Nicollette Mashile, and also the second one is Mikateko Mzimba. Those two people, these are the people that I mostly watch whenever I need financial advice, or whenever I need to learn something, when it comes to financial education. I have learned a lot. Nicollette Mashile is practically a financial guru by now. She always says, I'm not a financial advisor. If you need financial advice, go to a certified financial advisor. But to me, I think she's up there, guys. She's my financial advisor, because I've never went to a financial advisor, but I always go to Nicollette Mashile's YouTube tutorials, and I always learn a lot. I remember at one point I was drowning in debt. I didn't even know where to start. I went to her channel. In fact, that's when I started watching her. I went to her channel, and the things I learned there, even now, guys, I still follow her, and I am learning a lot from her channel. The second one is Mikateko Mzimba. I always say Melmoth because I grew up with her. She's my home girl, she's my neighbor, and we call her Melmoth. But her YouTube name is Mikateko Mzimba. She's also talking about finances. She is on her road. She's taking us on her road, to financial freedom, on her road to becoming a millionaire. And she's sharing her tips and tricks and what she is doing in order to get there. So she's talking about investment, she's talking about business, she's talking about her side hustle. So you have a lot to learn from her. So that's another way for you to start getting yourself a financial education. And yeah, the third route that you can take in order to learn about financial education is to get audiobooks. So the time that you use, to drive from home to work and back and forth, or whether you're commuting, you're taking a taxi or whatever to school, to work, wherever, use that time to get yourself financial education. They call that the university on wheels. So whenever you are on your way somewhere, whether you're in a taxi, you are driving, get yourself an audiobook that you can listen to. If you're driving, just put it on your Bluetooth or USB. If you are commuting, use your headsets, put on something, an audiobook, and learn. This is one of the best way to learn and to be on your way on to financial freedom. The third step on the list is, number 3 is have a budget. Make a budget. So make sure each and every month you have a budget, written down. Write down a budget. So a budget is, a list of all your expenses. It's a list of all your expenses that you add at the end of the day, and then you subtract that from your income. So be it your salary, your business, your side hustle, whatever, that's your income. And your expenses is, your car payments, your home loan payment, your DSTV, food, petrol, whatever. You make a list of all those things, add them up, and then you get one amount, and then you will subtract that from your income. That is what is called a budget. And I know a lot of people shy away from making a budget because they say already their expenses are more than their income. So even if you know that your expenses is more than your income, it is best to put it down, put it on paper, make a budget so that you can see which expenses are important and which expenses are not. This will help you take off some of the things that you're wasting money and prioritize the things that are important to you, because most of the time some things that we do, that we spend our money on, is not even important things. But if you put it down, this will put you on the spot, and then it will make you think like, was this really important? And make sure to document each and everything that you spend your money on. So if you do this each and every month, you will see that as time goes by, you are able to be more wise with your money. You're not just going to spend money on things that do not matter. I am not saying don't spoil yourself. Yes, it's good to spoil yourself every now and then, but sometimes you just waste money on things like buying lunch every day at work versus making your own lunch. So you can start planning on lunch and things like that. Maybe you can tell yourself that, okay, I'm gonna buy lunch once a week, and the other days I'm making lunch from home. So this is why it's very important to have a budget, and this is where you are going to see where it is that you are wasting money and where it is that you can tone down. Number 4 is getting rid of debt. So make sure that you eliminate all, not all debt, but all the bad debt that you have. I know that a lot of us young people, the first thing that we do when we start working, and this is because we do not know, the lack of knowledge. The Bible says people are perishing because of lack of knowledge. It's not only talking about knowledge of the Bible, but it's also talking about the general knowledge. You need to make sure that you have knowledge. Wisdom is very important in life. So if you are here and you're watching this, I believe you also want to gain some knowledge so that you can improve your financial life. So a lot of us young people, we have this thing of when we start working, and this is because you don't know, when you start working, the first thing that we do is we get into debt. Just because you get approved for a clothing account, just because you get approved for a car, just because you get approved for a credit card, it does not necessarily mean that you can afford it. So a lot of us think that, oh my God, they approved me for a 20,000 rand credit card, then I can afford this, yay! But unfortunately, it's not the truth. It's not the case. You don't necessarily afford it. If you check it on your budget, then you will be able to see that, okay, you do not afford this. Oh, I'm gonna run away from this sun. So yeah, getting ourselves in debt, that's the first thing that most of us do. There's a few wise people out there that I admire so much. People that do not get too excited, and the first thing they do when they start working is buy a car. But the first thing that you should do is to start saving, and start looking. You should start by having goals. What are your short-term goals? Yeah, especially financial goals. Having financial goals is important. What is your short-term financial goals, and what's your long-term financial goals? And this will lead you or push you in the right direction when it comes to how to use your money. Some of the bad debts include clothing accounts, credit card, personal loans, sometimes even car finance. If you do not afford, that can be a bad debt also. So before you engage or embark on any debt, start on any debt or get any debt, make sure that it's something that you can afford. For example, with regards to a credit card, if you cannot afford to pay off everything that you use the credit card for by the end of that month, then you do not afford to have a credit card. That's something I've learned from Nicollette Mashile. So a good debt is a debt, number one, that you can afford to pay, and also is a debt that you that can make you an income. So let's say, for an example, you have a car and you can put that car on Uber or Uber Eats or whatever. It's making you an income, and it's even better if the car can make you enough income to a point that it can pay itself. That's even better. So a house is also, you know, classified as good debt because it increases in value. A person that bought a 500,000 rand a house 5 years ago, now that house might even be worth 700,000 or even $1 million. So, you know, with houses, that's how it is. Houses always increase in value. So, you know, things that increase in value and not lose the value, you call them assets and not liabilities. Liabilities, things like a car. A car is a liability, but it can also be a good thing because you need a car to go to work in order to make your salary, your income. So it's a liability because it's losing value, but it's an asset because you use that to make money, use that to go to work. And also you might even use it for business. Maybe you make cakes and you use your car to make deliveries. It's easier for you to, you know, to go from one town to another to make a delivery than to say to the people, you know, you can come get the cake at my house. So which means the people that come from far might not make it to your house, so you'll be limiting your business. So a car can be an asset and it can be a liability. So yes, with regards to debt, make sure that you eliminate all the bad debt. If you have a lot of clothing account, which I know that a lot of young people, this is what they have, this is what they do. They get clothing account, with an account from Edgar's, Woolworths, Truworths, Foschini, and then at the end of the day you struggle to pay off those accounts. So make sure that you get a payment plan. Make a payment plan. How are you going to pay off those accounts? Try to pay them off and make sure that you buy clothes cash, because if you have to buy it on a credit card, then it means you do not afford it. This will help you to budget. This will help you to save. So make sure that you have a plan how you are going to pay them off, which is why I said I went to Nicollette Mashile's YouTube page so that I can learn how to pay off my clothing accounts, and that's how I pay them off and then I close them off. So yeah, make sure that you have a plan to pay off your debts. Get out of debt, and this will, you know, it will allow you to have extra cash in your pocket, which you can use to save. This brings us to our fifth point on the list, which is saving. I mean, you cannot start, or you cannot get on a journey or start on a journey to being financially independent or to financial freedom without saving. All the books that I've read up to so far, and all the people that I've listened to, whether it's a presentation, whether it's a podcast or whatever, this is where they started. This is where we all have to start. And I know that as Black people, we are all about spending. I'm not saying all of us, but this is the mentality that we were raised with. You know, you get money, you spend it. And you know, it's just recently that there's people like Vusi Tembekwayo and, you know, DJ's Boo and all the entrepreneurs in our country that are trying to teach us to get into entrepreneurship, to get into a money making journey, a financial journey. And you know, those are the people that we learn from, that we need to save. So in order to get into business, let's take, if you want to embark on business, where are you going to get the capital to start a business? Of course, there are businesses that don't need capital, but at the end of the day, you will need money, you know, to travel or to get stock or whatever supplies. Where are you going to get the money if you do not save? Because most banks don't just give out business loans to people who don't have money. Banks prefer to give money to people who are going to be able to pay them back. They don't believe in dreams, pipelines. So yes, you need to have some sort of savings so that you can get started, and also you need savings for emergencies. So this is something that I learned also from Mikateko Mzimba's page. She said she had how many accounts? I don't remember how many accounts, but she has a lot of accounts. In those accounts include the savings account, there is a savings account, there's an emergency fund account. You also need to be saving for your retirement, so make sure that you save. And I know some people will say, how am I going to save? I don't have enough money to save. My salary is just enough to cover my expenses. This brings us to the previous point, which was get rid of debt. As soon as you get rid of some debt or all your debts, then you have enough money to start saving. And also, even if you still have the debt, you just have to make a conscious decision to say, before I pay everything else that I need to pay, I have to start paying myself. So this is something that I also got from The Richest Man in Babylon. This is the first principle, which is pay yourself first. So this means that sometimes, you know, you're gonna be short on your debts or whatever, but if you have a good plan to pay off the debts, then you can, you know, work out a plan, or you can make an arrangement with the people over there to say, listen, I can't make the 500 payment, but is it fine if I pay 300 for the time being, because you know that you're saving on the other end. Because at the end of the day, you need to also look out for yourself. So save, pay yourself first, preferably, or preferably or advisably 10% of your income. So if you are earning 10,000 rand or you're earning 7,000 rand, 10% of that. So if it's 7,000 rand, you take 700 rand, put it aside before you even do anything. Put it aside. Then from there, then you know, even when you make your budget, you know that you are budgeting on 6,300 rand, because you do not include that 700 and it's not yours, it's for the future you. It's the future yours. If that makes it even makes sense. So yeah, save 10%. If you can't, you know that, oh my word, all my expenses, there's not even all my expenses are just important expenses. It's just I pay rent, I buy food, I buy petrol, and that's it. My money is finished. Then just pay whatever you can. If only the only thing you can afford is 100 rand, save 100 rand. The important thing is to make sure that you are saving something. Then from that money you can be able to do something, maybe to even make money, or it can even help you during your emergency or whatever. But just start saving and you will not be disappointed. You will be on your way. And they say there's a secret which is called the law of attraction, which means the more you save, the more you want to save. So let's take you're saving 100 rand. After 6 months or a year, something in you just want to save more, and then you will increase that to 295. Next thing you know, you are saving even 10% or even 20%. And even those people that will start with 10%, you can even find yourself saving 20% or even 50% of your salary. I read somewhere of a guy that retired at the age of 35 because he was saving 90% of his salary. Like, OMG, just imagine that. But it is possible, it's doable, guys. You just have to know your story, and you just have to be serious about it. I rest my case. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope these 5 tips will help someone out there, and I hope it will get you on the journey to financial independence, to financial success, and it will, get us out of this mentality of being broke, So yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share the video with anyone who might need it, a family, a friend, or even on your social media platforms. Thank you so much for watching. See you again on the next video. Bye.